Claressa Shields just stood in front of a camera, 9 days removed from telling the entire internet she has no beef with Remy Ma, and had a full-blown meltdown over a music video teaser, and somehow, in the exact same breath, told Alycia Baumgardner and Amanda Serrano, two women who combined have more knockouts than she does, to go get some knockouts. Go get some knockouts. From a woman who needed a 42-year-old Australian soccer mom with a 0% knockout ratio just to get her fourth stoppage. And here's the part that's going to make your head spin when we get there, because I promise you, we are getting there. This isn't really about a song. This is about a woman sitting on a pile of belts she can't defend, banned from the one promotion that actually has her peers under contract, watching her ex-nemesis turn her personal humiliation into a monetized, streamable, soon-to-be video-accompanied piece of hip-hop product, and the only weapon she has left is her own mouth, which keeps writing checks her resume can't cash. Remy Ma isn't just winning this beef, she is engineering it like a chess grandmaster while Claressa is playing checkers with the board upside down, and by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the receipts, the deleted message math, the SOSOD. Cell phone that might be the most embarrassing social media post by a champion athlete this decade, and why everything you think you understand about who has the power in this situation is completely, catastrophically backwards. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, and subscribe. Let's get into it. So let's set the table for everybody just now catching up, because this story has layers like a wedding cake and every single layer is poisoned. Remy Ma and Papoose were hip-hop's married power couple for years, the love story, the vows, the whole thing. Then the marriage imploded publicly, accusations flying in both directions, and who pops up in the wreckage? Claressa Shields, the self-proclaimed GWOT, greatest woman of all time, 2 Olympic gold medals, undisputed in multiple divisions, legitimately one of the most talented fighters to ever lace up gloves, and now, by her own choice, the most talked about side story in boxing instead of the main event. The text got leaked by Remy, the screenshots made the blogs, Papoose went on Vlad TV doing verbal gymnastics about timestamps and false narratives, and the whole thing has been simmering like a pot nobody bothered to turn off. Fast forward to now. Claressa just fought at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, stopping K. Scott in 6 rounds, a fight I told you, before it happened, exactly how it would go, and we'll come back to that because the cherry-pick economics of that matchup matter. And on the day of the weigh-in, not fight night, not the day after, the weigh-in, maximum chaos timing, Remy Ma drops a diss track called Wanna Go, Over the Crime Mob, Knuck If You Buck, Beat, aimed directly at Claressa and Papoose. Then she teases the video. And in that teaser, Alycia Baumgardner and Amanda Serrano, glammed up in a Rolls Royce, middle fingers up, riding with Remy. The two women with the most public smoke with Claressa in the entire sport, now literally in the car with her husband's ex-wife. And as if that wasn't surgical enough, Remy reportedly had an LED truck, one of those mobile billboard vans you see on the Vegas Strip, parked outside State Farm Arena playing the song on a loop while Claressa was fighting inside. That is not a diss. That is an occupation. That is hip-hop warfare conducted by somebody who studied the art form, and Claressa, who has now finally responded, sounds like she just realized the war already started, and she showed up with a water pistol. Now let's get into the surface evidence, because what Claressa actually said in this response is a masterclass in self-destruction. Piece number 1. She called Baumgardner, quote, a bum and a hater, and then immediately pivoted to the line that the whole internet clipped. You know you're beating them when they all start teaming up. Them hoes is teaming up with a rapper. A rapper. Said with disgust, like Remy Ma being a rapper is an insult, from a woman who has repeatedly, publicly, catastrophically attempted to rap herself. Do you understand the irony levels we're operating at here? You're dismissing rap as a lane while standing on the scorched remains of your own diss track that they reportedly tried to cease and desist. Piece number 2, she said, and I need you to sit with this. Y'all can't beat me one-on-one, so y'all gotta team up. Go get knockouts. Go win. Go sell out an arena. Go get knockouts. Let's pull the receipts on that, because numbers don't have feelings. Alycia Baumgardner is 18-1 with 7 knockouts. Amanda Serrano has over 50 professional bouts, a knockout ratio north of 30%. She's a multi-division champion who has moved up and down in weight her entire career. And she literally just tied Christy Martin's record for the most knockouts in women's boxing history. Our record MVP is about to put on a TikTok live event to try to break, with Jake Paul promoting it, no paywall, in front of a potential audience that Claressa couldn't draw with a free concert in the parking lot. Meanwhile, Claressa sits at a knockout ratio so low she had to import a cherry-picked opponent to goose it. She's telling two women with objectively more devastating finishing records to go get knockouts. That's like a guy who microwaves ramen telling Gordon Ramsay to go learn to cook. Piece number 3. The venue jab. She can't sell shoes out of a shoebox, which is funny right up until you remember that Serrano fought Katie Taylor in a trilogy that reportedly generated more money than Claressa's entire multi-fight deal. On the Jake Paul vs. Mike Tyson undercard on Netflix, in front of numbers, Claressa will never sniff no matter how many belts she vacuums up from vacant divisions. And piece number 4, the one that ties it all together. This whole response drips with the energy of somebody who claims she's unbothered while being visibly, audibly bothered. The pauses. The rambling. The contradictions stacked on contradictions. And we haven't even gotten to the 9-day-old interview yet, the one where she swore, on camera, that none of this is beef at all. Oh, do I have more? So much more. Because here's where it goes from sloppy to sinister. 9 days before this meltdown, Claressa sat for an interview and was asked directly whether she and Remy could ever see eye to eye. And this is what she said, verbatim energy, "I don't got no smoke with her. It's not beef. I don't know why they trying to make it seem like it's beef. Now, may she dislike me? Sure. But it's nothing I can say like she did this to me, so it's unforgivable." I think the fans and people try to create these narratives. The fans created it. The media created it. Listen to me very carefully, because this is the single most important pattern in Claressa Shields' entire public life. She throws the rock, hides her hand, and then acts bewildered that a window broke. 9 days. 9 days from, it's the fans making up narratives, to them hoes is teaming up with a rapper. Which one is it, champ? Is it a fanfiction beef, or is it a coordinated conspiracy of enemies that has you ranting into a camera? You cannot occupy both positions, and the fact that she effortlessly does tells you everything about how she processes accountability, which is to say, she doesn't. And let's dismantle the obvious counterargument right now, because her defenders are already typing it. She has a right to respond. They're coming at her first. Okay, fair. Let's honor that. Remy dropped a diss during fight week, which is grimy and calculated, sure. But here's the thing about beef ethics that every hip-hop head understands in their bones. If it's not beef, you don't respond. Jay-Z didn't respond to everybody. The throne doesn't chase peasants. The moment you respond, you confirm the beef exists, which means your 9-day-old statement was either a lie or a delusion, and frankly, I'm open to both. And while we're honoring counterarguments, let me give the other one. Claressa's the better fighter. None of this matters. Belts talk. Yes, belts do talk. You know what else talks? Bank accounts, streaming numbers, and relevance. And we're about to get to all three, because this is where the story stops being about feelings and starts being about systems. Strap in. Now, and I need everybody to lock in here, because what comes next is the part of this story that nobody else is connecting. Let's talk about what this beef actually is underneath the insults. It is a collision between a woman who owns her craft and a woman whose craft is running out of inventory. Start with the music economics. Remy Ma dropped one ago on the day of the weigh-in. Every blog picked it up. Every reaction channel, every podcast, every page free promotion, all of it funneling to a monetized record on every streaming platform, of a record with a hook people will ride around to. A record that will soundtrack Get Ready With Me videos for the next 6 months, whether the listener knows anything about boxing or not. That's the part Claressa fundamentally cannot comprehend. A good diss record is not an argument, it's an asset. It earns while you sleep. And when the video drops, the video with Baumgardner and Serrano in the roles, the double birds, the glammed up op energy, the song gets a second life, because visual cement records always have, from hit 'em up to every Usher video that made you love the song twice as much. Remy is doing what she is world-class at and getting paid to do it, in a beef she gets to fight on her home court. Now look at the other side of the ledger. Claressa's craft is boxing. Elite. Historically great, no debate from me. I have never once said the woman can't fight. But what's the inventory? She just cleaned out her division again, against a 42-year-old who, respectfully, looked like she'd been pulled from a parent-teacher conference. She's publicly said she won't fight again until December or January. She got herself banned from MVP events, MVP, the promotion that has Baumgardner, has Serrano, has the TikTok live machinery, has the Netflix pipeline, has essentially the entire functional economy of modern women's boxing under one roof. So from now until winter, what is Claressa Shields' job? Podcasts. Live streams. social media posts, talking about Papoose, talking about Remy, talking about narratives. She has become a full-time content creator with boxing as a hobby, and she's a bad content creator because her content is grievance, and grievance has a shelf life of about 3 weeks before the audience's eyes glaze over. Meanwhile, every single time she talks about Remy, she is follow the money, streaming Remy's record. She is the unpaid street team for her own humiliation. And then there's the structural truth underneath all of it, the thing about the sanctioning bodies that she said out loud without understanding what she was confessing. In that same press run, she admitted she has roughly 2 weeks to decide whether she's staying at middleweight or going back to heavyweight, because the sanctioning bodies won't let one fighter squat on 2 divisions indefinitely and freeze everyone else. She told on herself on camera. And here's why that's damning. It confirms the cupboard is bare. The talent pool in women's boxing above 147 pounds is a puddle. At heavyweight, name the contenders. Danielle Perkins, who already lost to Claressa and reportedly just missed weight. Who else? Men's heavyweight boxing. I can rattle off Joshua, Usyk, Fury, Dubois, Wilder, Itama, Wardley, Bacol, Anderson, off the top of my head. And the reason the divisions differ so violently is that in men's boxing you can move up and get flattened by a man 60 pounds heavier. Ask Deontay Wilder what real heavyweight physics feel like. Whereas Claressa famously moved Franghon Cruz Dezern up in weight with a rehydration clause stapled to her so nobody could actually outsize her. She doesn't do heavyweight. She does heavyweight-themed exhibitions against limited opposition. And the business knows it. That's why MVP didn't fight to keep her. That's why the biggest stage she can get is a feud with a rapper's ex-wife. The belts are real. The economy around the belts is imaginary. And Remy Ma figured that out before Claressa did, which is exactly why the diss track exists at all. The song isn't Remy punching up at a boxer. The song is Remy monetizing the only traffic Claressa Shields generates, which is drama traffic. Claressa isn't the opponent. Claressa is the marketing department. And now we arrive at the truth bomb, the thing this entire video has been building toward, and I want you to hear it slowly, because once you see it you can't unsee it. Claressa Shields' greatest opponent was never in any ring. It's her own mouth. And the single most devastating piece of evidence in this entire saga is not something Remy did, not something Papoose did, it's something Claressa posted herself, with her own thumbs. That proves she's been tracking every syllable of this beef while publicly claiming it doesn't exist. After the fight, she posted, and I want you to feel every word of this. 2+ years later, me and my man, and then, and I can barely say it without laughing, SOSOD got them mad. Stop. Freeze. Zoom in. SOSOD is not Claressa's phrase. That is a direct quote from Remy Ma's first diss record, the Why You Effing Lying era diss, the one from way back, the one they reportedly tried to cease and desist. Do you understand what that means? It means Claressa Shields has listened to Remy's diss records. Repeatedly. Closely enough to internalize the punchlines and redeploy them as captions. The woman who says there is no beef has the diss tracks memorized. That's like claiming you've never thought about your ex while using their anniversary as your password. And it gets worse, because think about what she actually said. She called her own boyfriend SOSOD as a flex. She took an insult about her man's shortcomings, coined by the woman he allegedly strayed from, and repurposed it as a boast. That is not winning. That is a hostage video in a caption. And it connects to something darker about how this whole relationship has operated in public, the text messages. Go back and look at what Remy leaked. Those screenshots show Claressa sending long, uninterrupted blocks of messages. Paragraph after paragraph, her bubbles stacked on her bubbles, and almost nothing from Papoose in between. Now, either that man was leaving her on read while she poured her heart out in 40 message avalanches, which is its own tragedy, or, and this is where I want to be precise, this part is my analysis, not a confirmed fact. Messages were deleted before those screenshots ever existed. Because here's a little technology fact anybody can verify on their own phone in 10 seconds. In most messaging apps, you can unsend a message and it vanishes from the thread like it never existed. No gap, no warning, no trace. And Papoose sat on Vlad TV, doing his whole false narratives, Vlad, timestamps, Vlad routine, and by the way, watch how that vocabulary migrated straight into Claressa's mouth, false narratives. They share talking points now like they share everything else. While the entire premise of his defense rests on thread integrity, that any teenager with an Instagram account can defeat in 30 seconds. And remember, this is a man who, according to what's been publicly reported and his own admissions on social media, carried on this situation while married, while posting about requesting a divorce for the sake of my 6-year-old, while calling Remy a narcissist for clout chasing, as his new girlfriend clout chases so hard she made his tattoo a public spectacle, a tattoo so small and faint it looked like it was applied in invisible ink, sized perfectly for a painless cover-up appointment if this whole thing goes sideways. Everything about this relationship is built like those messages, curated, edited, deniable, unsent. And the most damaging part of all? Claressa keeps saying everyone is teaming up on her like she's the victim of a conspiracy. No. Look at the pattern. Franchon Cruz Dezern was cool with her, now says Claressa stole her look, beef. Amanda Serrano publicly called her the GWT, said, we can share the crown, you're my sis, beef. Alycia Baumgardner, there's literally a joint interview of the two of them laughing together, beef. Layla Ali, an early mentor figure, beef. Her own family, she said it herself, it's always family that betrays you. At what point do we stop blaming the entire world and notice the one person standing in the middle of every single burning bridge? She's not being teamed up on. She's being left. There's a difference. One is a conspiracy. The other is a consensus. And that's exactly why the resolution of this story is already written, and it's not written in Claressa's favor. Because while Claressa is live-streaming grievances into the void, Remy Ma is executing the cleanest heel run in recent hip-hop memory, and I say that with professional admiration whether you like her or not. Look at the discipline. A single, perfectly timed record. A teaser, not the whole video, because you never dump all the product at once, you let demand build. 2 co-stars chosen with surgical precision, each one a living receipt of Claressa's failed relationships, each one signed to the promotion Claressa got herself banned from, each one with a knockout record that embarrasses the go-get knockouts, line before it even leaves her mouth. A mobile billboard parked outside the arena like an occupying army. And then silence. Let the opponent talk. Let her rant. Let her contradict herself. Let her quote your lyrics back at you in her captions like a fan. Remy hasn't had to say a word since the teaser because Claressa is doing all the promotion for free. While the self-proclaimed GWT is explaining to a camera why being teamed up on means she's winning, Remy is collecting streams, blog coverage, and anticipation for a video that hasn't even dropped yet without throwing a single additional punch. That is what power looks like. Power is not the person talking the most. Power is the person who can stay quiet while everyone else reacts. Claressa Shields has 2 Olympic gold medals and undisputed titles in multiple divisions, and right now, in the only fight that the culture is actually watching, she's losing on every scorecard, not because she's a bad fighter, but because she brought boxing logic to a hip-hop war. In boxing, if you win, the argument ends. In hip-hop, the argument is the product. Remy understood the terrain. Claressa is still shadowboxing in the wrong building. And here's the crystallizing image I want to leave in your head. One woman parked a billboard truck outside the arena and let the music play. The other woman walked past it, went inside, won her fight, and came out to find out the whole world was talking about the truck. And this is only the start, so let me tell you exactly what to watch for, because the next 60 days of this saga are going to be a masterclass. First, the Wanna Go music video. It's coming. Baumgardner, Serrano, the Rolls Royce, and reportedly more scenes nobody's seen yet, and when it drops, every blog, every reaction channel, every clip page is going to run it, and Claressa will have to choose between responding, which feeds it, and staying silent, which she's proven 9 different ways she's constitutionally incapable of doing. Second, the sanctioning body deadline. 2 weeks, by her own admission, to declare middleweight or heavyweight, and whichever she picks, she's either fighting a rematch nobody wants or a vacant-level opponent nobody's heard of. While Serrano goes for the all-time women's knockout record on a TikTok live event with Jake Paul's full promotional machine behind her. Watch which of those 2 stories the culture actually covers. And third, the sleeper. Keep your eyes on the tattoo. Invisible ink has a way of becoming visible at the worst possible time, and if a single crack appears in that relationship, every deleted message, every unsent text, every false narrative, comes flooding back into the conversation with compound interest. Claressa Shields is a historically great fighter with nobody left to fight, a self-authored beef she swears doesn't exist, and a rival turning her life into a catalog. I said months ago that the most dangerous thing in Claressa's career wasn't a puncher, it was a mirror, and now the mirror has a marketing budget and a release date. And the video we haven't even touched yet, the full forensic breakdown of that case got cherry-picked, the smoke and mirrors of how that matchup got sold to you, why a 42-year-old with muscles became the most convenient opponent in boxing. That breakdown is coming next, and when you hear who reportedly pushed for that fight and why, you're going to understand that the Wanna Go video isn't even the worst thing happening to Claressa Shields this month. You do not want to miss that one.